Hey, how's it going? This is Alan. Thanks for coming back. Today I just got a my own personal reading, and I thought about, I like to do some little journaling, and I thought that maybe someone out there might need some of those lessons that I got from my cards as well. Okay, so this is not gonna be like the usual readings that I do, like on the fly, you know, on the go. So I, actually got it all written down, and hopefully it will make sense to you somehow, for whoever is needing this message. A lot of times we're looking at certain situations. We are all running through all sorts of, tarot readings, but we don't necessarily get to actually understand what the cards mean, and how that can actually resonate with the situations we may be going through. As you guys know, this channel is pretty new, so I am a lot of times trying to ask a question to myself and go from there. I usually like to take some sort of guidance on my cards. Anyways, so the first card that I got out here was the card of Strength. By the way, this is my Diablo deck, my Diablo Tarot deck. As you can see, you're gonna see a barbarian, and he's actually trying to slash a beast. On a Rider-Waite tarot, you usually see a lady with trying to open up a lion's mouth, but in this case, it's pretty much like a barbarian trying to get on a beast, try to conquer the beast. I understand this as, being the opposite of courage. That might be some sort of moment of vulnerability where you're not necessarily able, or you're not necessarily true to yourself, or taking the steps of action that you need to complete certain goal. So it just pretty much shows you that, hey, you have been kind of taking the courage to take the leadership, to take this some sort of attitude, this certain attitude they have from a situation standpoint, that you need to be more firm about it. So this shows that for whoever is reading this, you may have been going through some sort of situation where you need, or you were needed to take courage on something, but you were just feeling vulnerable all the time, and that was impeding you of actually reaching certain goals that you needed to get through. Okay, next up, we got the World. As you can see over here, you got the angel's hands on one side, and then you got the demon's hands on the other side. On the Diablo lore, I think this is like the stone that holds all the power. And in the original tarot meaning, it's pretty much some sort of completion. So that signals that this moment of vulnerability that you have been going through is finally closing up, but it is now time for you to accept and understand this past situation is coming to an end. You got to start learning on what you have gone through, what lessons you're taking from it, and how you're gonna move on from now forward. In my point of view, this is pretty much what I have been working on, and this is pretty much, at least my mission is, I try to get some sort of vision, to be that word of encouragement a whole lot of people are not willing to give. Sometimes we do have this certain bias that we don't want to take words from somebody we actually know, because it might be biased somehow, either within your favor or outside of our favor. But then we need a word of a stranger who's completely outside of the situation and can tell us some sort of neutral perspective, point of view, per se. Next up, we got the Eight of Pentacles. And if you can see, I don't know if you can see right away on the shadow here, by the reflection, you do have like a little lurking creature behind here. The Eight of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles usually, means that we may be going through some sort of lack, being left out in the cold. Either that may be with finances or health. Anything that the Pentacles are usually related to, which is health and financials and stability. The what we call the bread and butter. We may be missing the bread and butter. Next up, we got the Knight of Pentacles on reverse. And I almost want to tie that to the Five of Pentacles, because this seems to be, this does not look like a love reading whatsoever, at least in my point of view for my situation. As I said again, I'm just trying to pass it through as maybe someone else out there is needing it. You may be focusing or maybe feeling just way too impatient on whatever is happening at the moment. Exactly when you're actually working on something, but you feel like the progress is like too slow, or it does not feel fulfilling. Like, for example, I got this tarot channel, right? Not a whole lot of people watch it. And actually, in order to go viral, this message needs to go through a whole lot of people. But it takes time, it takes practice, it takes a whole lot of experimentation that not a whole lot of people have the patience to go through. Sometimes I do feel impatient. Sometimes I do feel like I am doing some sort of work, unpaid work, right? Because it's unpaid. But I'm using my time. But at the same time, I feel like some other people out there might be feeling the same way I do. So a lot of times we may have those lurking figures, those lurking feelings that may go through our heads, and we don't necessarily take into consideration on how far we have come, how far we have learned, and we just let those nagging, slow moving, that impatience that we may have hinder our progress to actually start learning things in a good pace. Next up, we got the Knight of Wands. This is calling for, motivation, something coming out of the ashes, some sort of momentum. This is the power that you hold in your hands. If you look at the wizard's eyes, he's got some sort of fire, some power going on. And this calls for, I think, at least in my opinion, it's a little reminder that you need to start looking at the momentum, that little message that, everything starts really slowly until you start practicing enough that you actually start getting some momentum and you start actually getting things done. There is no certain way to get something done, like 100%. At least something that I have learned over time. You have a goal from going from point A to point B, but there's not necessarily a way on how you're gonna get there. You can either get the fast way, which is like a straight line, or you can go all over the place. But that does not mean that you're never gonna get there. It just really depends on the skills that you have at the moment, the motivations that you have at the moment, the people you walk with at the moment. There's also your great motivators that a whole lot of people don't take that into consideration. So that's something to take in mind. And the final card, we got the Eight of Pentacles on reverse, which is a small reminder that you need to look into why are you trying to be perfect all the time. We need to think about, we are always so focused at the end. We are always so focused on how we're gonna get there at the very end that we forget about the journey. At least for myself, I am an extreme overthinker. I overthink about everything. I overthink about how am I gonna begin it, how am I gonna go through the process, and how I'm gonna get to the end line. But we actually forget about how we're gonna get throughout the process itself. Trust the process. You know, sometimes you just gotta do things a little bit different. Like right now, instead of just pulling cards out of nowhere, I actually, you know, took the time, I sat down, I had an actual connection with my cards instead of just simply hitting record and quickly pulling things out of my mind. And I was, even though it was my own reading, I feel like I was also thoughtful that someone else might need that word of encouragement, that you're actually picking up the courage, you're recognizing your bias, you're recognizing your weaknesses, your vulnerabilities, and trying to take care of it in a different perspective without putting yourself down. If you think about it, a whole lot of people out there are just gonna put you down for whatever reason. You know, you might show up with something new and not necessarily people will actually be supportive of what you're doing, you know? So this is just a small reminder that you need to stop looking at certain things from the past. You need to stop something that I've looked on, at least on this Knight of Pentacles, that gave me the idea of, if you look over here, you're gonna see a whole lot of hooks on this guy. He's got hooks. Everything looks like a hook. And I almost feel like this feeling that things are just taking too long to actually progress is some sort of hook. I just keep thinking to myself that it is just maybe taking too long. I just think to myself that this just ain't working. But I'm not giving myself the time to learn, to build the momentum, and to get the knowledge I need to feel like, at least in this thing here, to get myself comfortable in front of a camera and give somebody else out there a message that they need to hear to overcome certain problem. Okay, so with that said, I've only picked up those six cards. You know, I wrote it all down on my book. I'm starting some sort of journaling. I'm the kind of person who's just completely like scattered. My mind is usually really scattered. But I wanted to maybe help somebody out there who is needing the actual word of encouragement, and without having, you know, all the picking cards and whatnot. I'm just trying to have a different format, if that makes sense. But anyways, please don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel. I do have, if you'd like to buy me a coffee, I do have links down in the description, so you can buy me a coffee. If you don't want to buy a coffee, maybe you want to get some sort of a t-shirt, you can also visit my store link that's down below in the description. I hope this message has helped you somehow, and I hope to see you in the next video. Okay?